staying safe as we continue through our cold snap and how long these bitter temperatures will be sticking around.
Plus, the Madison school superintendent addresses his vision for the future. Will lay out what it means for parents and students.
And later, a power surge this weekend causing some damage in Madison, but who is liable for it? We'll take a closer look. That's all coming up right now at 10. Thank you for joining us tonight. If you have been outside, you know we are in the middle of a bitter cold snap all across Wisconsin.
Now, our weather team's alert day for tonight has expired, but that does not mean the ongoing risk is gone from the bitterly cold weather. It is so cold that Porchlight is turning to the community now, asking for winter weather gear donations for its residents. They say they need men's coats and winter accessories, sizes large and up. They are needed right now. Any donations can be dropped off right at the shelter on Zaire Road. And in Baraboo, one person is recovering after being hospitalized for frostbite last night. And with temperatures like we're seeing now, that can happen in just a matter of minutes, along with hypothermia.
But it just happens much more quickly when we're talking about below zero temperatures. And I think that's what gets people in trouble sometimes at these cold temperatures is, we're always kind of basing our calculus on the more normal. So, 20 degrees, 25, 30 degrees this time of year. We kind of know what we can get away with at that temperature. Suddenly it drops to, 10 below zero. And what we could get away with, we can't anymore.
So let's see how cold it will get overnight and if any relief is on the way. Here's Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti with a look at our first warn forecast.
Well, it'll be pretty cold tonight, but not as cold as last night, but we still have another bitterly cold night ahead. Let's start out by taking a look at the time lapse from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville. You can see we had sunshine for much of the day today, but that's deceiving. Temperatures were very cold and wind chills were below zero all day. Nice sunset in the west, but that's not helping temperatures. High today, 9 in Madison, 9 in Janesville. Platteville topped out at 10. It was 13 in Boscobel. But notice current temperatures. Boscobel's down to 5 below zero. Down in that Wisconsin River Valley, the air sinks. And notice Lone Rock's down to 9 below zero. Madison's at 3. I think these temperatures will probably hold pretty steady for the rest of the night. Right now, about lower single digits through most of Dane County. 2 right now in Mount Horeb, 3 degrees in Sun Prairie. Wind chills right now are generally below zero, but not by much. About 5 to 10 degrees below zero. Look for a low tonight of around about 2 degrees, and then temperatures will start rising later on tonight. But we do have an alert day in the forecast for Thursday night and Friday for another bitterly cold night and day on Friday. I'll have more on how cold it'll get and when it'll warm up after that in just a few minutes.
Jerry, thank you. The city of Madison says it handed out more than 300 citations over just the past few days for snow emergency violations. The city declared the emergency Sunday evening. It lasted through last night, and that brings the total number of citations issued this winter to more than 1,000. To stay up to date with all things local weather, be sure to download our First Warn Weather app. It is free. It also includes any potential school cancellations or delays.
Developing tonight's basketball game between Madison La Follette and Madison East High Schools have been postponed due to safety concerns. It stems from a large fight at La Follette today during the lunch hour where a gun was pulled. That student was later arrested at their home. School safety was among the topics discussed tonight during the annual MMSD State of the District Address.
Our McKenna Alexander was there and shares what the district is doing to continue moving our community forward. McKenna?
Yeah, several changes could soon be coming to Madison schools as MMSD Superintendent Jenkins laid out what is and isn't working during tonight's State of the District address. Tuesday night, students, staff, and faculty gathered inside Madison East High School auditorium to hear from district administration on the future of MMSD. Superintendent Jenkins' speech, which lasted just over an hour, highlighted several topics, including achievement disparities, budgetary challenges, and ongoing socio-emotional support.
We've been talking about as a staff how we're addressing disparities often faced by students from historically excluded groups. It's a hot topic across the nation. I'll get into it. We've been talking about how we're going to provide support for the whole student. The whole student. As a staff, we've been talking about how we're going to support our staff, support ourselves.
Some of these suggestions proposed by Dr. Jenkins include updating older school buildings and facilities, preparing students to graduate with an awareness of social justice and environmental issues, and engaging with lawmakers to secure additional funding for public education.
Let's talk about a little bit about where we are. And this is it over the last 30 months. We've been engaged as a staff to really try to put things together. so we can be that district that becomes a leader in the nation of showing other districts of how to accelerate learning for all students.
Despite the presentation including a discussion on where the district can improve, Superintendent Jenkins emphasizes that the Madison Metropolitan School District is moving in the right direction.
As I continue to just wrestle with how we're going to continue to move forward, I have to first step back and say to myself, in terms of who we are, what we are. But I stand here tonight to tell you this, it's clear. It's clear. Madison Metropolitan School District is healthy, is strong, and is forward thinking. And we're on our way. We're moving in Madison.
Now, plenty more was discussed during tonight's meeting. You can watch the State of the District address in full just by visiting channel3000.com.
McKenna, thank you. Teachers hesitant to work last summer may have a new incentive to do it this year. MMSD teachers will now be making $40 an hour this summer. This is actually a return to old wages after a sharp decrease in teacher participation last year. Today, we sat down with the president of the Madison Teachers Union, who tells us about some of those issues that were on the minds of the school board when approving this pay increase.
2 middle schools became 1 middle school because of a lack of staffing. Some students were actually, who were enrolled in summer school, were all of a sudden unenrolled or removed from summer school because they didn't have the teachers or the staff to provide instruction.
While this could be considered a victory for teachers, there's still some school staff who won't be getting this pay hike.
And looking ahead, open enrollment for the 2023-24 school year begins February 6th. Through the open enrollment program, parents and guardians can apply to send their children to any public school district in the state. We have a link on our website where you can fill out the application. They must be submitted by April 28th. More local news now. For a second night in a row, the community had a chance to hear directly from Madison's 3 mayoral candidates. Tonight, a forum was held at the Urban League on South Park Street. To check it out for yourself, we have the entire event posted at channel3000.com. Spending in Wisconsin's governor race last year, shattering the previous record by more than 75%. The Wisconsin Democracy Campaign says overall, more than $164 million were spent. They say about $88 million was spent by Democrats and Governor Evers, compared with nearly $76 million from Tim Michael's campaign and Republicans. The previous record had been set in 2018.
For anyone who requested an absentee ballot for the upcoming spring election, be checking your mailboxes because the city began shipping them out today. The clerk's office says the deadline to request an absentee ballot is the Thursday before the election, but they recommend making your request as early as possible. And developing tonight, a lawsuit was filed today with the intent to block 2 Republican-sponsored measures from appearing on the April ballot. The Wisconsin Criminal Justice Advocacy Group argues the measures were not submitted on time to the correct elections officials. One question is a proposed constitutional amendment that would allow judges to consider more factors when setting bail. The other is an advisory referendum that asks voters if they believe that able-bodied, childless welfare recipients should be required to look for work.
Next tonight, a power surge this weekend may be to blame for a fire at a home on Gilmore Street on Madison's west side. Fire crews were initially called there for a carbon monoxide alarm. People inside say they'd been using several space heaters after losing their heat from the power surge. Turns out, in addition to the carbon monoxide, there was also a small fire in the attic and ceiling. Crews found smoldering insulation and burning wires and were able to put it out. Now, recouping expenses for damaged furnaces and appliances after the power surge, that's the situation for many after 2,000 people lost power because of a car crash on the west side over the weekend.
Our Armand Rahman has spent the day finding solutions for people caught in the surge. Armand?
Yeah, Eric and Charlotte, an MG&E spokesperson tells me the outage caused what they call a voltage variation or power surge, and that was beyond their control. But residents I spoke to today say now they're left with the bill for repairing or replacing some big appliances. It was the same ominous sound heard in many West Side households Friday night.
And we heard a couple of big pops and flashes.
There were a couple of popping sounds, and then it went dark.
And the same unpleasant surprises the next morning.
You know, the house went from 65 to 50, and it was continuing to go down. So, gonna go do laundry. Oh, the washer doesn't work. Gonna heat something up in the oven. doesn't heat up.
Brian Tennant in Westmoreland was able to get his furnace up and running on Saturday. He's still working on repairing other appliances.
I mean, I'm anticipating an out-of-pocket cost of a couple thousand, probably conservatively.
Meanwhile, in the Sunset Village neighborhood, Max Coons awoke to similar short circuits.
Come upstairs and find some bulbs that had exploded out of their sockets. We found out that the water heater, the circuit board on that was fried, and we found out that our dishwasher was out too.
When they contacted MG&E for help, they got this.
I mean, she was cordial and professional, but just basically said, like, you know, we're not liable.
Too bad, so sad, or we'll get back to you, or contact our legal department.
An MG&E spokesperson says what happened was rare and uncontrollable. State law says utility companies are not liable for service interruptions caused by circumstances out of their control.
But in my mind, just because you're not required to doesn't mean it's not the right thing to do.
For many now, the question of meeting their insurance deductible is on their own.
Educating, like you said, customers in terms of what measures we might be able to take.
Now, I've spent the day reaching out to the city, state, and others to get you some answers of what to do next. MG&E says customers should reach out to homeowners insurance providers to get some costs covered. They'll help get the proper documentation to insurance companies. You can also contact their legal department. Meanwhile, the Public Service Commission recommends contacting the Wisconsin Home Energy Assistance Program for emergency furnace repair, replacement, and crisis assistance.
Around the state, a couple in Grafton was able to survive a home explosion yesterday. The Grafton fire chief says the husband was in the basement when something blew. He suffered first and second degree burns. His wife was on the first floor and she had no injuries. Natural gas has been ruled out as the cause of this explosion. Investigators are now looking into other possibilities. The Dane County Medical Examiner's Office today identifying a man whose body was pulled from Lake Wabeesa this weekend. 45-year-old Richard Knutson of McFarland was pronounced dead at the scene on Sunday. A preliminary exam confirmed he died from drowning. The search teams say they found an area Saturday night where it appeared an ATV may have gone through the ice.
An update tonight, a woman shot in rural Iowa County last week has died. It happened at a home in the town of Wyoming last Wednesday. The victim was taken to a hospital in critical condition but ultimately died from her injuries yesterday. Police have arrested a 34-year-old Hill Point man for the shooting. The suspect now faces potential charges of homicide by intoxicated use of a weapon. And in New Mexico, actor and producer Alec Baldwin has been criminally charged in connection with the 2021 fatal shooting on the set of the movie Rust. The charges against him and the set's armorer, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, include 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter. Attorneys for both defendants previously insisted their respective clients are innocent. Still ahead tonight, your updated forecast and when we can expect to get a little relief from the bitter cold.
Plus, strengthening a bond, how a local healthcare provider is further investing in its community. That's next.
Prosecutor, now Circuit Court Judge, Janet Protasewicz.
On the Supreme Court, I'll be a common sense judge. I'll protect public safety. I believe in a woman's freedom to make her own decision on abortion. It's time for a change.
Where will your new Chevy take you this year? Find new experiences, find new roads. Well-qualified buyers get 2.99% financing on all 2022 Silverado 1500 pickups or get $1,500 cash allowance on this Silverado with a 2.7-liter engine. Plus, current Chevy owners get an additional $3,250 total cash allowance.
He has his grandfather's smile.
Her mother's eyes.
My cheekbones.
But will she have my diabetes?
My sickle cell anemia.
His father's heart disease.
Go to joinallofus.org to share your health information and speed up health research breakthroughs. The future of health begins with you.
Chicago. Celebrating 25 years of Broadway Razzle Dazzle. The Associated Press calls Chicago the most entertaining musical of the decade. Paint the town again with Chicago the Musical.
At Overture, March 21st through 26th. Tickets at overture.org. Turn on Bionic Spotlight Extreme 360, the motion-activated home defense light that looks just like a security camera. It detects even the slightest motion and automatically triggers 6 ultra-bright LED high beams. Call or go online and order your Bionic Extreme 360 for just $19.99. Plus, get free shipping on your entire order.
To order, call 1-800-501-5956 or go online to buybionic360.com. Call now.
I'm voting for Judge Janet Protasewicz for Supreme Court.
She believes in our freedom to make our own decisions when it comes to abortion.
Extremists want to ban abortion,
even in cases of rape and the health of the mother.
Judge Janet Protasewicz is the change Wisconsin needs.
Drew Carey brings The Price is Right to the Jennifer Hudson Show.
The better you do, the closer you get the putt from.
This is intense, and I'm so happy to sit down with Storm Reed.
On the next Jennifer Hudson Show at 3.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Welcome back. PayPal is joining other tech industry leaders in announcing layoffs. The online payments technology company says it is cutting its staff by about 7%. That amounts to 2,000 employees losing their jobs. On Wall Street, shares of PayPal are down more than 50% over the past year. Well, big oil is back. ExxonMobil reported an income of $14 billion in the last quarter. It adds up to $59 billion in earnings for 2022, which beats the previous yearly record of $45.2 billion for 2008. Energy companies are under scrutiny in Washington for using profits to repurchase shares instead of increasing production.
Today marks the end of an aviation era, Boeing delivering its final 747 jetliner, the double-decker airplane. It's been around for more than a half a century. 747s have been seen in James Bond films, shuttled 6 presidents, giving piggyback rides to space shuttles. This last plane was sold to cargo operator Atlas Air, so no passengers will ride in it. More local news, SSM Health donating $100,000 to the Urban League of Greater Madison. That move strengthens the relationship between the longstanding community partners. The money will help fund the completion of the Black Business Hub, which will encourage local Black and minority-owned entrepreneurship opportunities. SSM President Sue Anderson says the company continues to invest in community health and wealth, and Urban League President Dr. Ruben Anthony hopes to continue their partnership well into the future.
Slick roads and dense fog contributed to a multi-vehicle crash that shut down a major interstate in West Texas today. Traffic was backed up at least 10 miles as the area was pounded by severe winter weather. The video shows jackknifed semi-trucks blocking both lanes in traffic, with several vehicles scattered in between. Airports in the Lone Star State also getting hit hard again today with icy conditions. They're responsible for the majority of the more than 1,800 canceled flights today. More than 1,000 flights were also canceled yesterday, and tomorrow more than 900 flights have already been called off.
So what's in store for us? Here's Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti and his first warn forecast. Gary?
We just deal with the cold. We don't have to deal with the ice. We don't have to deal with the snow. So I suppose that's a good thing.
That's a bonus.
Yeah, you're going to need to bundle up because while temperatures will be a little milder for the next couple of days, they will turn bitterly cold again one more day at the end of the week. We do have an alert day in the forecast for Thursday night and Friday for one last round of bitterly cold weather, thinking wind chills down to about 25 to maybe 30 below zero early on Friday morning, and actual air temperatures in the single digits below zero. Look for highs on Friday to stay in the single digits above zero with wind chills below zero all day. High temperatures today, well, pretty cold. We went through almost an entire month with above normal temperatures every single day. Now the best we could do is 9 for Madison, 9 in Dubuque, Iowa. The northern part of the state actually a couple degrees warmer with highs in the lower teens, but across the Midwest you can see even down to the Ohio River, temperatures were below freezing. So the cold air has spread across much of the upper Midwest. Not quite as cold now as it was at this time last night. International Falls, Minnesota down to 9 below zero. But most areas are seeing temperatures above zero. Not by much, but at least a little bit above zero. And wind chills are a little bit below zero. The winds aren't as brisk for tonight. So the winter weather advisories down to the south. You got still ice storm warnings for parts of Arkansas to western Tennessee and northern Mississippi. Winter weather advisories east of there. All that wintry weather is staying south of the Ohio River. For most of us, it's just the cold air that's in place across most of the upper Midwest. Skies are mainly clear and temperatures are going to stay below normal. But there's a sign on the horizon that things will start to improve. In fact, the Climate Prediction Center new outlook for the month of February is calling for above normal temperatures for the eastern part of the country, basically from Madison to eastward. The western part of the country will be colder than normal. The downside to that is that precipitation is expected to be above normal through the central part of the country. The weather pattern could become active again because normally you see the jet stream in between the warmer and cold air masses. That means more precipitation down toward the Ohio River, but also the potential for severe weather outbreaks in the southeastern part of the country because you get into February and severe weather season starts to ramp up down to the south. For tomorrow, look for skies to be mostly sunny, not as cold as today, still below normal though, high temperature at 22 degrees. And as we plan your day for tomorrow, look for a high of 22 Middleton, 21 in Verona, 18 in Brooklyn, and 21 in Stoughton with mostly sunny skies. Across the rest of southern Wisconsin, 20 for the high in Wautoma, 18 in Fond du Lac, 24 in Milwaukee, and 21 degrees in Platteville. Future track wind chills, though, early Friday morning, back down into the 20 to almost 30 degree below zero range. So that's why we have that alert day in the forecast for Friday morning into Friday afternoon. There's the low, 6 below zero Friday morning and a high of only 6 above after a high of 25 on Thursday. But then those temperatures jump right back up. You go from 6 on Friday to 31 on Saturday, 36 on Sunday, and 38 with some rain showers on Monday. Another weather system toward the end of next week could be either rain or snow, as high temperatures will be in the middle 30s.
And coming up in sports, the Bucks avenged an early season loss thanks to another big night from their big man. How Giannis did it on both ends of the court. That's next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
At Stanton Optical, independent eye doctors are available for eye exams whenever you need one. You should have seen me before I got mine. You're so quiet. Are you mad at me? Book your free same-day eye exam at Stanton Optical today.
Right now, get an F-150 with 0% APR financing for 36 months, plus $1,000 bonus cash and $500 accessories cash.
The biggest and best RV event in the Midwest is back. It's the Madison Camper and RV Show and Sale. See a huge selection of RVs, camping equipment, and campgrounds, all under one roof. Meet Gilbert Brown, Gridiron Great. Tickets are just $10 and kids are free. Seniors, you're welcome at half price on Friday. Experience the great outdoors at the Alliant Energy Center, Friday through Sunday, February 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Are you waking up in the morning with a sore jaw, headaches, maybe even ringing in your ears, all because you're grinding and clenching your teeth at night? That's exactly what was going on with me. That's when I found this, the Brux Night Guard. Now, the Brux Night Guard redirects the bite force away from the back teeth, reducing jaw pain while still protecting the teeth. This unique design is what makes Brux Night Guard different from all other traditional grind guards. Go to BruxNightGuard.com and order yours today.
Need to update your furniture? Menards has the furniture you need in stock. Plus, you get a free rug. That's right. Buy any upholstered living room furniture at $299 or more and get a free 5x7 area rug. That's $149.99 in savings. Need a new chair? How about a sectional, a new recliner, or love seat? Buy one today, get a free rug. Hurry up. Get to Menards before they're gone. In-store only while supplies last.
Save big money at Menards.
How do you become America's #1? Start by taking care of families for over 75 years. Earn the trust of 32 NFL teams. Be there for America's toughest. And help when help is needed. America's #1 isn't a status earned overnight. It's earned in every wash and re-earned every day. Tide, America's #1 detergent.
Stanton Optical is the best value in eye care. We did the math, people. For $79, you get all this. That costs over $400 at LensCrafters, over $200 at Walmart, and over $150 at America's Best. When it comes to value, Stanton Optical is the top bird.
Hate to say it, but lately the Badger men's basketball team has kind of been playing bad. They've struggled on offense and defense and haven't played a full 40 minutes during this stretch where they've lost 6 of their last 7 games. So the question is, how do they get back on track? Well, Greg Gard had a couple solutions. Have their big 3, Tyler Wall, Steven Crowell, and Chucky Hepburn, get better shots and more shots. And then the easy answer, just play better.
We got to play better. I mean, you got to play better offensively, play better defensively. I don't think it's any secret. I mean, I don't think it hasn't been for a lack of effort. I know we got to get our main 3 guys more and better shots. So I don't think there's anything magical that's going to get said or be done. We have to become more consistent.
Drew Holiday, all smiles, and why not when you have Giannis on your team? Bucks hosting the Hornets, and the all-star captain was doing it all. First, Giannis comes up with the block. Then he turns defense into offense with 3 the old-fashioned way. Giannis finished with 34 points and 18 rebounds. Then later in the fourth, it's a 4-on-1, and Javon Carter doesn't care. He pulls up from deep. Bucks get the win, 124-115. It was a party in Partyville with Fall River in town for a big game in the Trailways West. And Pirates showed why they're atop the conference standings. Cullen rolls to the cup for 2, +1 to give Fall River an early lead. Now, Partyville would hang tough. Caleb Gard goes bank thanks to a nice cut. And the Bulldogs are back on top. But that lead wouldn't last long. Keegan rolls, dishes it off to Shavlik Schultz, and he does the rest. Fall River gets the win, 60-47. The news on Aaron Rodgers' future is that there is no news. Currently, the Packers quarterback is preparing for the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. He said on the Pat McAfee show today that he could get used to life on Pebble Beach. But he also said, while watching the NFC Championship game, his mind wandered to what it would be like to still be playing. All that really means is that we're going to have to wait a couple more weeks on his decision. Meanwhile, Waunakee's Rob Booker made his decision. He's staying home. The 3-star tight end is going to be a Badger. Booker chose Wisconsin over Iowa, Minnesota, and Michigan State, among other Power 5 schools. He's Luke Fickell's first in-state commitment for the 2024 class. And speaking of stars, Jordan Franke is now a 5-star, and it gets better. The Verona senior is tabbed as the 24th best long snapper in the country. Safe to say he's a little better at snapping than his dad was back in the day.
That's nice of you to put that in there. I didn't know that was coming.
We're back after this.
All you have to do is point.
Yes! 1-800-GOT-JUNK can make it disappear.
And that's why they all start dancing.
Woo!
Any first item removed, just $49.
I want to ride this pony, but I suffer from low E.
Millions of people are suffering from low energy, commonly known as low E.
With my low E, I can never finish this trending dance.
Low E has hurt my performance in the bedroom. I haven't been able to make the bed in years.
Now there's hope. Planet Fitness replaces low E with Big E, which keeps you energized and glowing all day. Simply join through the free PF app. $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends January 31st.
That's my boy.
Get an Escape, Edge, or Explorer SUV with 0% APR financing for 36 months, only at your Wisconsin and UP Ford dealers.
One of the most beloved and respected Chicago bands ever to explode onto the national scene, the Buckinghams' live concerts pack power into 60s pop rock. Presented by the Middleton Friends of the Performing Arts Center, February 11th at 7:30. Tickets on sale now.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms.
If you or a loved one were stationed at Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987 and were later diagnosed with cancer, Parkinson's disease, or other serious health effects, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Call right now to find out if you qualify.
Call 1-800-336-0524. 1-800-336-0524.
Are you
Tired of clean clothes that just don't smell clean? Downy Unstoppables In-Wash Scent Boosters keep your laundry smelling fresh way longer than detergent alone. If you want laundry to smell fresh for weeks, make sure you have Downy Unstoppables In-Wash Scent Boosters.
Oh, the weather. What's the chance of rain tomorrow?
Ooh, 80%. I make it rain. I make it rain.
Speaking of making it rain, at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, we have an average 95% payout, which leads you to more chances of playing longer and more chances to win big. Play longer, win more, chances are you're gonna like it.
Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
All you have to do is point.
Yes!
1-800-GOT-JUNK can make it disappear.
And that's why they all start dancing. Woo! Any first item removed, just $49.
The push for more renters' rights, Thursday at 10.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Finally tonight, keep an eye out for an unusual light in the sky. A recently discovered green comet set to zoom past Earth for the first time in 50,000 years. Astronomers first discovered the icy celestial object last March. They think the last time the comet was visible in the night sky was during the Stone Age. Gary, you remember that?
I remember it, yeah.
The comet will make its closest path to Earth between Wednesday and Thursday. It'll appear as a faint green smudge near the North Star.
That's exactly what I saw.
Yeah. It was a listener just when you started at Channel 3 when you saw that.
I'd been here for a couple of years.
Yeah.
If you're going to go out and look, it's going to be cold out there. Live view from the Edgewater Skycam. Skies are clear, but it's deceptively cold. Right now, 3 degrees in Madison, but down in the Wisconsin River Valley, closer to the Wisconsin River, 6 below zero in Boscobel, 9 below zero in Lone Rock. Here in Dane County, temperatures single digits above zero for the most part, but not by much.
All right. Gary, thank you, and thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 10.
Do something good, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.